Zero Robotics at Indian Spring Middle School. Hello again, everybody. My name is Dale Caffey with more of the great things happening at Waco ISD during the summer of 2015. I am on the campus of Indian Spring Middle School, and I'm with Michael Hamilton, who this summer is hosting a Zero Robotics course, and we're actually standing on a grid. We're going to talk more about that.
Certainly.
Talk a little bit about the objectives of this course and the main players involved.
The main players involved, this was developed at MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. We have a partner in Texas A&M that did a lot of the training and a lot of the work up front. And then finally NASA. The whole goal behind this is that kids will write some code that will control satellites on the International Space Station, literally. Give that code to astronauts, let them run it, and they get to go to NASA and watch it all happen.
Talk a little bit about the code writing that they do and what program they're using.
They started out in a program called Scratch, developed at MIT, scratch.mit.edu. And basically it's a way for kids to write C++ code by moving puzzle pieces around rather than actual coding. They don't have to do all the typing. They don't have to do all the thinking necessarily up front. There is a lot of logic and decision making involved, but it's not nearly as scary as just sitting down and typing those things out.
Now, when you mentioned about International Space Station, one of the objectives, or the objective, is to operate cameras, I think, in order to take the proper photographs on this mission. Talk about that.
What happens is there is a module on the International Space Station called the JEM. It's the Japanese Experimental Module. In that, they're allowed to operate these spheres. The spheres are propulsed by air in little to no gravity. On these spheres, there are cameras. The cameras are used to take pictures of asteroids at different points of interest around the asteroid so that scientists can take the pictures back, develop them, see what the asteroid's really made of, things like that. Very topical, seeing how the U.S. has just launched a mission like that. So you're running against another school from somewhere, doing the same thing, trying to do it the best and the fastest and get all the pictures you can.
Now, this afternoon when the camera got here, your students were actually standing where we are standing right now on a grid that you have painted on the floor. Mm-hmm. Talk about this grid and talk about what they were doing this afternoon.
Okay. The main objective with the grid is to give them an actual representation of what the game is and what they're building. The game itself will take place in a 3D world environment. So to get that in their head, we built a grid and said, you know, you have to move from here to here to here, almost a board game or video game type setup, where they start to, and we really saw it develop today, where they start to visualize, if I move from this place to this place, well, I'm not going to be able to get to that second place as fast as I wanted to, so on and so forth, things like that.
And ultimately the goal, you have an asteroid or a play asteroid, a beach ball, but they were trying to get several shots, one from a far away shot, one from a close-up shot, and at different angles, right?
Right. There are two different angles around three different places of interest around the asteroid, two different angles, up close, far away, so on. The first sphere to get there gets a few more points than the second sphere, so on. And so you start building those points through these phases and scoring opportunities.
What I saw, too, were students who were genuinely interested and on task, almost to the person.
Yeah, again, this is our second day doing the grid, but you could really see it kick in today where they were thinking ahead 2-3 spaces. Scorers were giving opportunities that people couldn't see from the outside. You know, it was amazing to see the kids really buy into it today.
Right. As I said, the children, or the students here this afternoon, were very interested in what was going on, and we had a chance to talk to a few of them about the fun they're having this summer going to school. Let's listen. Tell me why you're taking a course this summer when you could be out at the pool.
I don't know. Well, summer was going to be boring, so I decided to do this.
Tell me why this is not boring.
It's actually pretty cool. We get to, you know, program spheres in space.
What is it about this that interests you?
Probably their programming, because I haven't done that before.
Is programming becoming something you're more interested in because of this course?
Yes,
Why?
because it's actually kind of fun.
Well, the Scratch program is a program where we basically learn code just in a different language. There's C code and then there's this code. This code is where it makes it it's simpler to use instead of all the complicated codes that you have to remember for C code. And this program is well, we pretty much program robots to take pictures of an asteroid that has 3 points that we need to take pictures of and send back to Earth. Now, this is all a simulation. This isn't real, but the robots are real. Now, when we take pictures of them, we can only hold 2, and then we move back and we upload them to Earth, pretty much, and we get points by doing that. Well, there's a lot of complicated things about code, the memorization, the certain prompts, but to me, code, you're pretty much programming your own, well, if you want to, army, if you say. You can program one thing and everything else will follow. It's just, it kind of gives you that power that you've always wanted as a kid, you know? It kind of gives you that power. I enrolled because it's always really been my dream is to be a computer programmer, you know, to work for the big companies, you know, like Google, Microsoft. It's always been my dream job to work there. And with this program, it's helping me take a shortcut instead of having to do all the time and work in high school, taking all the regular classes. I can just do it here and learn and get one step ahead.
Robotics and code's always been something that's been interesting to me, and I feel that the things that we're doing here could really open up a lot of scholarships. So I decided to come here so I could work on it and get better.
And what are you finding out?
I'm finding that you have to really think ahead a lot to make sure that you have the right moves, so whenever something happens, you know what to do.
Very good. Now, it's all about trying to take pictures of certain planets or a certain place in the asteroid in the solar system. I see what they do on the grid, and while they're on the grid, I saw you by the green board behind you. Tell me what you were doing.
I was keeping track of the moves and I was keeping track of the moves for the red sphere, and when they uploaded, when they lost their memory, when they collided, I was keeping track of all that while everyone was working on the grid.
When you first enrolled in the course and came in day one, did you immediately know it was going to be as fun as it is, but has it taken some time?
I had an idea that it was going to be kind of fun, but not as fun as it's been.
What is most fun about it?
The grid. That's probably because you never know what's going to happen, because you never know what they're going to do.
And the objective, I know you're writing code and you're playing on a grid right now, but near the end of this, you actually get to enter some code into a contest, don't you?
Mm-hmm. What we do is we're going to write a code and send it to NASA, and they're going to program the spheres in space to see which ones work, and then the ones that work they're going to use in the International Space Station.
Does that excite you?
Mm-hmm.
Are you hoping your code works?
Hopefully.
Back now with Michael Hamilton, who is teaching the course on Scratch Robotics and this Zero Robotics course. Talk a little bit about the students. I mean, we just heard them, but every student today looks like they're really interested and really getting a lot out of this course.
It amazes me daily that these are middle school kids. We're talking about rising 7th and 8th graders. So some of them were just 6th graders last year. We were able to handpick some of them. Some just signed up out of curiosity. They are starting to really develop into people that are thinking. And that's been one of our biggest problems with a lot of these kids in the past. No visualization, no being able to think 2-3 steps ahead. And that's really fun to watch flourish.
And as I mentioned to some of them, they could easily be doing other things this summer, but they're choosing to come to school for 2 weeks in June, and they're having fun and they're learning.
There are a couple of other camps out there that they could have gone to that last 2 weeks here and there. They could have been in summer school if they hadn't done what they were supposed to do last year. They chose to come here for 5 weeks and spend time with me. So that's really a big deal. It just shows that we've got good kids no matter where you go.
And how will this translate this fall when school begins again?
Actually, we have a couple of technology classes coming up for the first time on Indian Springs this next school year. And those kids will be utilizing the same program, Scratch, to build both animations, music videos, even some computer programming.
Very good. Well, congratulations on a great camp that you're hosting. I know you're very happy with the kids so far.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
And hopefully you'll have the program that they use on the space station. Is that one of the goals?
One of the goals is to get them to see how far they can go. These kids have never even thought about NASA or MIT or places like that. One of the other things, we did Skype with a few people from MIT the other day, had some folks in from A&M, so they're getting to make some contacts at some very early ages and develop some skills that they probably wouldn't have.
No doubt about it, and get that college interest as well.
Absolutely.
Michael Hamilton, thank you so much for what you're doing.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Once again, this is Michael Hamilton. We're on the campus of Indian Spring Middle School. It's called Zero Robotics, and the kids are having a great time. My name is Dale Caffey, reporting from Indian Spring Middle School, where there are learners today, leaders tomorrow.